Hi guys, this is Terry David here again. All right. As you all may know, I normally help a lot of students write the CSEC maths exam, right? But I've just been through the essay process, right? My daughter managed to do pretty well in the essay maths exam for June 2023. She managed to get 97.3, right? So I'm doing the solutions for you guys free of charge, right? Just feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So these are the solutions to the June 2020, sorry, the 2022 solutions, right? The first question here, we have write the numeral for 35,096. So 35,000, right? And you want 96. So this is going to be 096, right? So that's 35,096. The second one here, the number 875 is increased by 625. What is the new number? So if we have 875 and we said we increasing it here, so therefore you're going to add 625, right? So if we add our ones here, 5 plus 5 is going to give me 10, right? So we're going to put this 0 here. You're going to put this 1 across here. 7 and 2, 9 and 1 is 10. So we have our next 10 again. So you're going to put a 0 here. And then we're going to put this 1 here. So that's 8 and 1, 9 and 6 is 15. So the answer is going to be 1500. That's your new number, right? Third question, we have 372. And you're dividing that by 12, right? So the first thing we're going to do, we can say, okay, 12 can go into 37 3 times. So 3 multiplied by 12 will give me 36. And then we have to subtract. So 37 minus 36 will give me 1. And then we need to bring down this 2 here, right? So now we can say 12 into 12 is 1. 1 by 12 is 12. And when I subtract, I'm going to get a remainder of 0, right? So when 372 is divided by 12, your answer is going to be 31, right? That's the answer here. Now this next one here, we have 1/3 of that box there is 19, right? So 1/3 of some number is 19. What is that number? Well, sorry, not 1/3, 1/7, my bad, right? 1/7. So what you can do, you can visualize it like this. You can draw 7 equal boxes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 equal boxes, right? So that represents our whole there. But what you know is that 1/7, so this here is 1/7, and that corresponds to 19. So if you want to get what the whole is, all we need to do is to take 19 and multiply that by 7, right? So 9 sevens are 63. So you're going to put this 3 here, and you're going to put this 6 here. 1 7 is 7, 7 and 6 is 13. So this here is going to give me 133. So that box that they're talking about there is 133, right? And when I say the box, I mean this box here. The next one here, which of following is not a square number? So a square number, right, is a number where we can find the square root of that number. So this here, 9, right, is a square number because I can write that as 3 squared, right? 16 is also a square number. I can write that as 4 squared. 25 can be written as 5 squared. So therefore, this number here is not a square number. 12 is not a square number, right? We have a subtraction to do here, right? We have 11 over 12, right, minus 2/3, right? Now, what we need to do, this 2/3 here, we can write that as an equivalent fraction, right? So 2 over 3. Now, because I have 12 here, right, what I want to do, I want to get an equivalent fraction where I have 12 at the bottom. So to do that, all I need to do is to multiply by 4. So 3 by 4 will give you 12. So I do the same thing on top here. Multiply by 4. And 2 by 4 will give me 8. So therefore, 2/3 is equal to 8 over 12. So this here is going to be 8 over 12. And therefore, when we subtract this here, you're going to get 3 over 12. Because 11 minus 8 will give me 3. So this is 3 over 12. And this here could be reduced to give me a quarter as my answer, right? So that's my answer for this one here. It's going to be a quarter, right? Next one, question 7. 6 over 7 multiplied by 84. So that's 6 over 7 multiplied by 84, right? Now, in this case here, right, let's see. Right? So in this case here, this 7 here can go into this 84 12 times. 12 sevens are 84. And therefore it's 6 multiplied by 12. So that's 72. Right? So that's my answer there. Question 8, you want to convert 47 over 5 to a mixed number. Right? So all we need to do is to take 47 and you're going to divide that by 5. Right? Now, 5 can go into 47 9 times. 9 fives are 45. When I subtract this, 7 take away 5 is 2. So therefore, I have a remainder. So therefore, as a mixed number, it is going to be 9. You have a remainder of 2. So you're going to write that as 2 over 5. Right? So it's 9 and 2/5 for this particular answer. Question 9. The maximum score in a spelling test is 50. Anika scored 60%. What was Anika's score in the test? Right? So all you need to do, you need to find 60%, right, multiplied by 50. Right? Now, 60% is actually 60 over 100, right? And you're multiplying that by 50 over 1, right? Now, this 50 can go into this 100 2 times. So therefore, 60 divided by 2, right, is going to give me 30. So the answer is 30. Question 10. Sam bought 2 of the bottled water shown. How much change did he receive? So now, you see the price of the water bottle is $4.25. And you're purchasing 2 of them. So you're going to take $4.25. And the first thing you're going to do is multiply that by 2. Right? So that's 5 2s, 10. Right, so you put your 0 there, and then you put the 1 here. 2 2s are 4, and 1, that's going to give you 5. Right, put back your decimal point, and then 4 2s are 8. So $8.50 is how much she paid for the 2 bottles of water. But she's trying to buy this with $10. So it's going to be $10. To get the change, we have to subtract the $8.50. Right? All right, now, the thing is, you have zeros on the right hand side here, so let's do some borrowing. If we borrow from this here, this 10, you're going to have 9. This will become 10 here, right? We don't need to borrow anymore. 0 minus 0 is 0. 10 take away 5 is going to give you 5. And 9 take away 8 is 1, right? So it's going to be $1.50, right? Next thing here, we want to measure the length of this pencil. So we need to know the starting point. That's around here. And the ending point is around here. So the ending point is 10.5, right, cm. And you're going to subtract the starting point, which was 3.5 cm. Right? So 5 take away 5 is 0. 10 take away 3 is going to give me 7. So that's 7.0 cm. Right? That's the answer for question 11. Question 12, what is the time on the clock here, right? If you look at our clock there, we can say it is, so let's put it in decimal, in digital format, sorry. So this is going to be 10, that's 5 past 10, right? So that's 10:05, right? We don't know if it's AM or PM, so we just put 10:05, right? How many pineapples of the same mass will balance the scale? Now, on this side here, you have 3 kilograms, right? Now, 3 kilograms, if I convert that to grams, you multiply by 1,000. So that's going to give you 3,000 grams. So that's how much you have on that side. On this side here, we have a 500 gram. So if you want to figure out how many pineapples will balance the scale, right? All we need to do is to take the 3,000 grams, right? And you're going to divide it by the mass of one of your pineapple, which is 500 grams. Right? Now, let's remove some zeros here. So these 2 zeros, let's cancel those. And this 5 can go into this 36 times. So therefore 6 pineapples are needed in order to balance this thing, right? Right? An empty container and a full carton of milk are shown below. So you have a 5-liter container and you have a 250 milliliter carton of milk. How many cartons will fill the container? So what we need to do here, we need to take the 5 liters. So 5 liters, right, is, if you want to convert that to milliliters, you have to multiply by 1,000. So this is 5 by 1,000, right? So this is going to be 5,000 milliliters, right? Then what do we do with that now? Now you're trying to figure out how many of these cartons fill the container. So you have 250 mils or 250 milliliters. So therefore the number of cartons, we need to take 5,000, sorry, right? And you're going to divide that by 250, right? So this 0 will cancel with this, right? Now what we can do, we can say, all right, 5 can go into 25 5 times. 5 can go into this 100 times. And then one more, 5 can go into this 100 20 times. So the answer will be 20 cartons of milk will be required to fill this thing. The cross section of the prism is a square. Name the prism. So this is the cross section they're talking about here, right? So what we can say here is, we can call this a cuboid if you want, right? It's called a cuboid, right? Or we can say a square prism, square base prism. Right? So those are possibilities or names that we can use for this, right? Question 16, which of the following is not symmetrical? Well, if you look at all of them, right, let's say the plane here, right, the plane is symmetrical about this line, so that's symmetrical. The butterfly is symmetrical about this line. The heart is symmetrical about this line, right? So the one that is not, I said not, is Y, right? I can't find a line of symmetry there. 17, which month represents the mood? So the mode is asking us for the, what they're showing us here, shows the months in which students in class were born. So the month in which they were born. So the mode, right, if you look at the numbers here, in January you have a total of 6. April you have a total of 9. In July you have a total of 10. And in September you have a total of 5. So the mode, right, is the one that occurs most frequently. So that's going to be July. So the answer has to be July in this particular case. Right? Right, just I feel I missed a question here. Yeah, I did. So this was 17, right? Which triangle below has an angle greater than a right angle? So a right angle here, right, is what we call 90 degrees. So we're looking for any triangle that has an angle greater than a right angle, right? So that can be an obtuse angle or a reflex angle. If you look at triangle C here, this angle here is greater than 90. So therefore, I would say C is the answer for this one here, right? Question 19, what is Maddie's mean mark, right? So we have some marks here in some tests, 4 different subjects. So what I would do, I'd add up the marks for all the subjects first. So that's 80 plus 91 plus 82 plus 53, right? So that is 3 and 2, 5 and 1, 6. 9, 1, 2, 3, that's 8, 3, 24, 25. So this is 30. So I'm getting 306 as my total, right? Now what do we do with that? So basically we need to divide that by 4. So we're going to take 306, right? And you're going to divide that by 4, right? So this is going to be 7 4s are 28. Right, when we subtract this, you're going to get 2. 30 minus 28 is 2. You're going to bring down this 6 here. So that's 26. So we're going to get 6 fours are 24. All right, and then 6 take away 4 is 2. So you're getting a remainder of 2, right? So what you really have here is a mean of 76. Your remainder is 2, so that's 2 over 4, right? But you can tell them that as 76 and a half, or you can even tell them 76.5, right? So any one of those can work as your answer. So that's question 19. Question 20. The incomplete bar graph shows the color of the vehicles in a car park. So you have different colors, red, gray, blue, and white. They're telling us that we have 24 vehicles, right? So therefore, what we need to do, we need to look and see. So in terms of red, so for red, we have from the graph, you have 7 cars, right? 7 vehicles. From the gray, you have 3 vehicles, right? And white, we have 8 vehicles. When I add up this here, I'm going to get 7 and 3, 10, and 8 is 18. So that's the total number of vehicles accounted for. But you have 24 that is here, right? So you have to take the 24 and you have to minus your 18, right? So let's do a little borrowing here. So this is going to be 14 minus 8. That's going to give you 6. So there's a total of 6 blue cars. So to draw this now, what we need to do, we need to draw a bar that goes up to 6, right? So that's my answer for question 20. All right, so moving on to section 2 now, right? Write the following numbers in ascending order, right? So ascending order means that you are increasing. So this here is increasing, right? So when you look at the numbers here, you need to start with the smallest number. So if I look at the numbers here, smallest number is 53.91, right? That's the smallest number. The number that comes next will be 95.31. Right, what comes next here? So we took care of the 53.91, 95.31. The next number will be 135.9. And last one will be 319.5. Right? So those are my numbers in ascending order. Next one here now. So I know this question was a challenge for many students in this particular exam here. So if you understand what multiplication is, right? Multiplication is actually repeated addition, right? So it's as if you have 75, right? And you have 199 of them, and you are adding up all of these 75s, right? So what multiplication is, it's as if I'm taking 75 and I'm adding it to 75, and I keep doing this for a total of 199 times, right? Now, when we look at what we have it equal to, you notice that they are subtracting one of the 75s. So if you're subtracting one of the 75s, right? Now you still want to get back 199 75s, and you're subtracting one of them. It means that this number here, this total number here, has to be 200 if you were to get back the 199. So therefore, that triangle there actually represents 1, right? So that's the answer there. The triangle represents 1. And if the triangle is 1, it means that the rectangle, because there's not much difference between the first and the second line, this part of the expression is the same, but this rectangle here is simply going to be 200. Right? That's 200. Question 23. The shaded fraction of the square represents 16 students in a class. Right? The total number of students in the class. So this is a shaded fraction here. So in terms of shading, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore, that fraction is actually 5 over. Let's see how much we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a total of 25 we have there. Right? So that's 5 over 25. That's the shaded fraction. So this 5 over 25 is actually 1/5. Right? Now, you want to figure out the total number of students in the class. So let's draw a little diagram here to represent our fifths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Now 1/5, right, they told us is 16 students. So this is 1/5, right? And that's a total of 16 students. So if you want to get the whole, this whole thing here, all we need to do is to take 16 and multiply by 5. So it's 16 multiplied by 5. 6 5s are 30, right? So you put your 0 there. You're going to carry this 3. 1 5 is 5 and 3 is 8. So the answer is going to be 80. That's how many students we're talking about here, right? Question 24. Anil's age is a factor of 48, right? Anil's age is a factor of 48. 7 years ago, his age was a multiple of 5. So this question is testing to see if the student knows what a factor is and what a multiple is, right? Now, let's look at Anil's age. It's a factor of 48, right? So let's try to write down all the factors of 48 here. Those are the numbers that can actually go into 48. So 1, 2, right? 3 can go into it. 4 can go into it. 6 can go into it. 8 can go into it. 12 can go into this. 16 can go into this, right? 24 as well, right? And then 48. So those are all the numbers that can actually go into 48. So these are my factors, right? Now they said 7 years ago, his age was a multiple of 5. Now you have to understand what a multiple of 5 is. Multiples of 5 means that we are counting in 5s. So you're going like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and so forth, right? You can count multiples till infinity, right? So these are your multiples of 5, right? Now, what's happening here now? They said that 7 years ago, his age was a multiple of 5. So let's work out his age 7 years ago now. All right, now to do that, you're going to have to subtract 7 from it, right? Subtract 7 from it. Now, if you notice something here, I can't do that with these numbers here, right? 1 to 6, I can't do anything there. So we're going to start with this 8 here. So if we go 7 years before that, right, we're going to have 1. If we subtract 7 from this 12, you're going to get 5. If you subtract 7 from this here, you're going to get 9, right? If you subtract 7 from the 24, right, you're going to get 17, right? And then when you subtract 7 from 48, you're going to get 41, right? Now, what you need to do now is to look at those numbers here now and say, okay, 7 years ago, which number was a multiple of 5? So when you're looking for the multiples of 5, you're going to realize that, hey, only this 5 here, right, is only this one here will give me a multiple of 5, right? So therefore, they said, what is his age now? So you have to be careful. So, all right, which one corresponded to that? That was this 12, right? He's 12 years old now. So the answer is 12, right? So be careful with that. So that's 24. Question 25. What's happening here? Mr. Grant bought 48 meters of wire. He used 13/16 to make basket frames. He cut the remaining wire into equal lengths and to make basket handles. Each basket handle was 3/4 meter. How many basket handles did he make? All right, so this is your total amount of wire. He's using 13/16 to make basket frames, right? Now this is where you need to figure out something here. The remaining wire used to make the basket handles. So therefore, if he uses 13/16, right? So to make the handles, right? What's going to happen here is that he's going to take 16/16, right? This is your fraction that we're dealing with here. And you subtract 13/16, right? You're going to get 3/16, right? So this here, this fraction here is what is being used to make the handles, right? Now we cut this remaining wire. So the amount of wire that he's going to use to make the handles will be 3/16 multiplied by 48 over 1, right? So what we can do, we can start reducing some stuff here. So 4, or you could put 8, right? 8 can go into 16 2 times. This can go into this 6 times, right? This 2 can still go into the 6 3 times, and you're going to get 9 meters, right? So that's the length of the wire that he's using to make the basket handles. Now, what we're going to do with that now? They said that 3/4 length or 3/4 meters is being used to make one handle, right? So what you're going to do, you're going to take the 9 meters, right? And you're going to divide that by 3/4. So when you divide it by a fraction, what we do, we change it and multiply, and we invert. So this is going to be 4 over 3. So this 3 can go into this 9 3 times, and 3 by 4 is going to give us 12, right? So that's the number of handles. You're going to make 12 handles with this. Right, so that's 25. Question 26. What do we have here? We have 2 rackets and 2 balls. Okay, so 2 rackets and 2 balls, right? They cost a total of $184, right? So that's for based on this diagram here. Based on this diagram here, we have 2 rackets, right, and 4 balls, right? And that's going to give me $224, right? Now, what am I going to do here now? So I'm going to use this information here, right? If you notice something here, the only difference between these two here is that you've added 2 more balls. So therefore, if we wanted to work out the cost for 2 balls, so 2 balls is actually equal to, all you need to do is to take 224 and minus 184. 4 take away 4 is 0. 22 take away 18, that's going to give me 4. So this is 40, right? So therefore 2 balls, so 2 balls, right, cost $40. So therefore 1 ball will be equal to half of that. So that's 40 divided by 2. So 1 ball is actually costing $20, right? Now the thing is, the question asks us for the cost of 1 racket, right? Question is asking us for the cost of 1 racket. So right, I may be overthinking this question here, right? I may be overthinking this question here. You already know the price of, I don't need to find the price of 1 ball actually, right? What I can do, I can use this first expression here, right? Now you know that the cost of 2 balls is equal to $40, right? So therefore, 2 rackets, the cost of 2 rackets should be equal to $184 minus the cost of 2 balls, right? Which we already know is $40. So we're going to do this, right? 4 take away 0 is 4. 8 take away 4 is 4. So this is $144. So therefore 2 rackets cost $144. So therefore 1 racket is going to be 144 divided by 2, and that's going to give you 72. So the cost of 1 racket is going to be $72. All right, question 27. A vendor received a total of $125 from the sale of snow cones and ice cream, right? The cost of a snow cone is $5 and the cost of ice cream is $10. Okay, so this is one of those unequal sharing questions. So we have snow cone, we have ice cream, right? And they said that the cost of a snow cone is $5. So this here is $5. The cost of the ice cream is $10. So that's twice the cost. He sold 7 more snow cones than ice cream. So therefore, let's call this box. We don't know what it is. And he sold 7 more, right? So when they say more, they mean box plus 7, right? So what we have here, we have an unequal number of snow cones and ice cream, and we know the cost, right? Now check this. If you wanted to work out the total cost, which we know is $125, you would have had to take $10 multiplied by how many ice creams you bought, and you would have had to take $5 multiplied by how many snow cones you bought, right? Now, to take care of this now, what we're going to do, we're going to say, all right, we're going to take the $5 multiplied by the 7 here. That's going to be $35. Right? 7 by 5 is going to give you $35. So this here, I need to remove that from the 125. So we're going to take $125. We're going to remove the $35 from this, right? 5 take away 5 is 0. 12 take away 3 is 9. So that's $90, right? Now that $90 now is really made up of 10 boxes. This box is here, 10 boxes, right? Plus you're going to have 5 boxes here, 5 by box, right? So that's 15 boxes is equal to $90. So therefore one box will be 90 divided by 15, right? So therefore one box, right? So we can start reducing this here. So we can start with maybe 3. So this is 5 3s are 15, right? And this here is going to be 30. 30 divided by 5 is going to give you 6. So therefore the number of ice creams that was sold is actually 6. But what the question I want to find out? Right, so the question was asking how many snow cones, right? I missed that piece here, right? So basically we need to figure out how many snow cones that was sold. So this here, the box here is the ice cream, right? Which is 6. So therefore for the snow cone, right, all we need to do is box plus 7. So that's 6 plus 7. So that's 13. Right, so that's how many snow cones we have here. So that's 27. Question 28. Corey's weekly allowance is $60. He received 1/8 of his weekly allowance for each additional chore that he completed. Calculate Corey's total allowance for the week. All right, so his weekly allowance is $60, right? And he receives 1/8 of his allowance for each of his additional chore. So for each additional chore, it'll be 1/8 multiplied by 60 over 1, right? So that's the same as saying, so this here, 2 can go into this 4 times. This could be 30, right? 30 divided by 4, that's going to give you 7 4s are 28. Remainder 2, so that's $7.50, right? Now in this case here, you have 3 additional chores, so you're going to take $7.50 and you're going to multiply that by 3. So 0 by 3 is 0. 5 3s are 15. All right, 5 3s are 15. 7 3s are 21, 22. So that's $22.50, right? So this here is going to be $60 plus $22.50, right? So when I add this up, the total amount of his allowance for that week would have been $82.50. All right, so that's question 28. Question 29. What's the difference in the perimeters? So what we need to do, we need to figure out what is the perimeter around each one. So the first one here, is it a square? Is it a, let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So we have 10 and we have 9. So that's 2 different lengths there. Let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. right? So the perimeter will be 9 plus 10 multiplied by 2, right? So be careful with that when you're working out perimeter, right? So that is 19 multiplied by 2. So 9 2s are 18, 1 2 is 2, and 1 3. So that is 38, right? So the perimeter of the first one is 38 cm. Perimeter of the second one, right? Let's go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? So that's 9 by 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? So this is a square this time. So to get the perimeter, we just take one side and you multiply by 4. That's going to give me 36 centimeters. So the difference, right? The difference will simply be 38 cm minus 36 cm, right? And we're going to get 2 centimeters here, right? So that's the difference in the perimeter that we're talking about here. So that's 29. Question 30. A shaded rectangle on a 1 meter grid below represents a flower bed, right? Now that flower bed is 1/9 of the park, right? So what is this area here? So this is 1 2 3 4, right? That's 4 square meters. That's the area that we see in there, but that's only 1/9 of the park. So therefore the total park, area of the total park, right, is simply going to be 9 multiplied by what we just got there, which is 4. So therefore the total area is going to be 36 meters squared, not cm squared, meters squared, right? What do we want here now? So we want to, on the grid, we want to draw the park, right? Well, since it's 36, what I would do, I would draw a square park, right? Did they say what kind of park it is? Oh yeah, it is a square park, my bad, right? So if it's a square park, we need to draw a square that has a side of 6, right? Because 6 multiplied by 6 will give me 36. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then we go 1 2 3 4 5 6. Right? So that's my square there. Question 31. Small identical cubes are placed as shown. How many more cubes are needed to fill this thing here, right? So what we need to do, we need to work out the dimensions of this thing here. So vertically, we have a total of 1 2 3 4 5. So you have 5 cubes going that way. Then this way, we have a total of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. You have 7 cubes going that way. And then this way we have 1 2 3 4. So you have 4 cubes going that way. So what we can do, we can use those numbers to work out the total number of cubes, right? So that's going to be your volume. So that's 5 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 4, right? So that's 35. 7 5s are 35. So that's 35 multiplied by 4. 5 4s are 20. 3 4s are 12, and 2 is 14. That's 140. So therefore, the total number of cubes required to fill this thing is 140. Now we need to see how many cubes we have inside here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. So what we need to do is to take 140 and subtract 16. Right? We need to do some borrowing here. This will be a 3. This is 1. 10 take away 6 is 4. 3 take away 1 is 2. So we need 124 more cubes to fill this thing. Right? Let me just double check this here. Hold up here. Make sure. 5 4s are 20. 3 4s are 12. Right, let me just double check something here, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. right? So my bad, this should have been an 8 here, right? So if that's an 8, that 8 fives are 40. Hold on, right? So the actual dimensions are 8, 5, and 4, right? So if it's 8, 5, and 4, I need to rework this. So 8 fives are 40. 40 by 4 is 160, right? So what I need to do, I need to take 160, and we need to subtract. Let me double check this. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, so it's 160 minus 16, right? So let's do some borrowing here. So this will be 5, this will be 10. 10 take away 6 is 4, 5 take away 1 is 4, this is 1, right? So the number, they said how many more? It's going to be 144. Right, so we have a question here with a clock. The time on a clock is 8 a.m. The clock loses 5 minutes every hour. What time would the clock show when the correct time is 3 p.m. right? What is the correct time? Okay, so at 8 o'clock, the time is correct, right? And then you're losing 5 minutes every hour, right? Now the correct time is 3 p.m. right? Now you need to check to see how much hours is that there. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. That's a total of 7 hours, right? So you have 7 hours in that interval there, right? But you're losing 5 minutes every hour, right? So therefore, in the 7 hours, you're going to lose 7 multiplied by 5, right? So that's going to be 35 minutes. That's how much time you're losing in this period here. So all we need to do is to take 3 p.m., right? And you're going to subtract 35 minutes, right? So if you subtract 35 minutes from this, right? Now you're going to borrow from this here, but you're borrowing from hours here. So this is 2 hours here. When you borrow 1 hour, that's actually 60 minutes. So 60 minus 35, 10 take away 5 is going to give me 5. 5 take away 3 is 2. So therefore, the actual, or the time that you're going to see on the clock is going to be 2:25 p.m. Right? That's the time you see on the clock. Right, so that's question 32. Question 33. On the grid below, right, we have some points. We want to draw a quadrilateral that has one right angle, right? One right angle. And, okay, so all I need to do here, draw lines for one quadrilateral. Right, so we're just looking for one right angle here. So what I would do, I would probably just do something like this. Right, so you want, read this carefully, label the position B such that the quadrilateral has one right angle. Right, now you want to get one right angle, so you don't need to come quite to this point here, right? So what I would do, I'd probably stop there. Right, in which case I have one right angle here, which is this here, right? So that's one possible shape. That's question 33. Question 34, we want to complete the shape when the line AB is our line of symmetry. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 here. Then you're going to come down here. And you're going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3. And go here, 2. Come down here. And that's it. Right? But please, when you're drawing these diagrams, use your ruler. Right? Question 35. The mean of 4 numbers is 80. When one number is removed, the mean remains 80. Explain how this is possible. So the mean of 4 numbers is 80. So what I can do, I can work out the sum of these 4 numbers by taking 80 and multiply by 4. Right? 0 by 4 is 0. 8 4 is at 32. So that's 320. Right? Now, when you remove that one number, they said the mean stayed at 80. How is that possible? Well, if the new mean right? The new mean is 80 now, right? So therefore, the new sum, right, is going to be 80, that's the mean, multiplied by, we have three numbers this time. So 0 by 3 is 0, 8 3s are 24, right? So therefore, what has happened here is that this person has removed, so you're going to take 320 minus 240. So this is 0 here, right? 32, so if you borrow from this, you'll end up with 2. We have 12 here. 12 take away 4 is 8, right? So watch what's happening here. So what you did, you actually removed 80 from the original four numbers, and you still was able to get a mean of 240. So if I had to explain this question here, I'll do it by calculation, right? I'll do it by calculation. That's 35. Question 36. We have basket and oranges are weed, right? And we have bananas as well. So they give us a table here, right? And we have some information. And they want to know what is the mass of the basket, right? So the basket with the orange is 4 kilograms, right? So what I would do, I'd say, all right, basket plus orange is 4. Basket and banana, I'm going to put a BA here, right? And banana is 3 kilograms. And then we have basket plus orange and banana, and that's equal to 6, right? So we want to work out what is the mass of the basket. Now from the first one here, you know the basket and the orange is 4. So therefore this here is 4. So therefore I can work out the mass of the banana. So the mass of the banana, right, is simply going to be 6, right, minus 4. So the mass of the bananas will be 2 kilograms, right? Now, so we used the first expression here, the first equation, and we looked at this one here, and you were able to figure that out. Now we know that the basket plus the banana is going to be 3 kilograms. So therefore, if you want to work out the mass of the basket, it's simply going to be 3 minus 2. So that's going to give you 1 kilogram. That's it. Right? Okay, so Indira had 90 pence, right? Okay, question 37. Indira has 90 pence. She kept 1/3 for herself. She gave a quarter of a remainder to Keon. Okay, so when you have a question like this, what you should do is to break it up into steps. So she has 90 pence initially, right? She has 90 pence initially. And then she kept 1/3 for herself, right? So that means she kept 1/3 multiplied by 90 over 1, right? So this 3 will go into this 30 times. So therefore, she kept 30 pence, right? So she kept 30 pence for herself. Now she gave a quarter of the remainder to Keon, right? Now the remainder, right, will be 90 minus the 30, because she's keeping 30. So that's going to be 60, right? So that's the remainder. Now she gave a quarter of the remainder to Keon. So Keon, right, is going to be a quarter of the remainder. So that's a quarter by 60 over 1, right? Now this 4 can go into this 6 one time, and then we'll have 20 here. So that 4 can go into that 20 15 times. 5 times, sorry. So this is 15, right? So Keon got 15, right? So now Allison and Yvette, as such that Allison received 9. Okay, so we have Allison and we have Yvette, right? Now Allison and Yvette, they received such that Allison received 9 more pence than Yvette. So Yvette, let's call that box, and let's call Allison, she receives 9 more, right? So this is box plus 9, right? Now what is happening here is that she shared the remaining pens between Allison and Yvette, right? So this is what happened so far. So Indira, she kept 30 for herself, right? She gave Keon 15, right? So therefore, we need to figure out what is the remaining share here. So we have 90, right? And 30 is gone to Indira and 15 is gone to Keon, so that's 45. So we have 90 minus 45, right? That's how much he has to share now, right? So we need to borrow from this. This becomes 8, and 10 take away 5 is 5, 8 take away. So we have 45 pens here now that we have to share between Allison and Yvette, right? Now, if we were to take this and add this to this, the total number of pens Allison and Yvette has, right? All we need to do to figure out what that box is to take the 45, right? And you're going to minus this excess 9 here, right? So let's borrow 1 from this. So this is 3 and this is 15. So this is 6. So therefore we have 36. So therefore, to figure out what box is, all we need to do is to take 36 now, and we need to divide that by 2. So that's going to be 18, right? So that means one of these boxes here is actually equal to 18. And who do we want to figure out for Allison? So in the case of Allison, right, it'll be one box, which is 18 plus the 9, right? And that's going to give you 27, right? So that'll be Allison's share here, which will be 27 pence, right? So that's 37. Question 38 was also a challenge for some people. We have an isosceles triangle here, all right, on a 1 cm grid, 6 identical circles partially covered, right? What do we want here? 4 equal parts. The area of the shaded fraction shown is 2 cm. So what they're trying to tell us here is that one of these here, right, that shaded fraction there is 2 cm squared. That's what they're trying to say, right? So this is 2 centimeters squared, right? What is the area of the shaded fraction shown as 2 cm squared? What is the area of the triangle that is not covered by the circles, right? Not covered by the circles. So what you'll do, you'll find the area of one circle. So one circle, right? Since you know a quarter is 2, one circle will be 2 multiplied by 4, because a quarter is equal to 2. So therefore, one circle is 8 centimeters squared. Now, how many circles do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore, area of all the circles, right, that's going to be 6 multiplied by 8. So that's 48 centimeters squared, right? So that's the area of all the circles. Now, all we need to do is to figure out what is the area of the triangle, right? And to do this, right, now based on the diagram that we have here, if you all, what you could do, so one thing we could do is to count the squares. That's one option, right? Or, right, so this here is one large rectangle, right? So the area of that triangle is simply going to be this base length here, right, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So this is 20 cm going this way, right? And we need to work out the height of this thing here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 10 cm, right? So therefore, the area of that triangle is going to be 20 multiplied by 10 divided by 2, right? So the area of the triangle right? So we're going to take 20 multiplied by 10, and then you're going to divide that by 2. So that's going to give you 100 cm squared, right? That's the area of the triangle itself. So therefore, if you want to work out the area of the shaded part, right, all you need to do is to say 100, right, minus 48, right? So we borrow from this. This becomes 9. This is 10 here. 10 take away 8 is 2. 9 take away 4 is 5. So this here is 52 cm squared. That's the area of that, the area of the triangle that is not covered by circles, right? What else do we have here now? Question 39. We have a pattern, right? We want to explain the pattern rule here. So when you have a pattern like this, you have to see what is actually being repeated. So when you look carefully, you're going to say, all right, if you notice, we have some arrows and they're pointing in particular directions. So we have, this one is right, up, down, right. Then we go again, right, up, down, right. So if you look at it, you realize, all right, so here's what's happening here. This is the pattern here that is being repeated, right? This is the pattern that is being repeated here, right? So every 4 arrows, the pattern repeats itself, right? Now, explain the pattern rule. So the pattern rule is going to be, right, right, up, down, right. That's what you're going to see for this part here, right? Now, they want you to draw the 19th element. Now, what I would do in a scenario like this, I know that I've reached the 12th element in that pattern, right? So the one to come next is going to be 13, right? Then 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So I know exactly which one's going to be repeated now. So they want you to draw the 19th element. So in my case here, this is where my 19th element should be. It is the same as the 7th, right? So the arrow that they want in this case here is going to be this, right? It has to be pointing downwards, right? So I hope that makes sense. That's your 19th element here, right? The part C now, state the position at which the pattern begins repeating for the 5th time, right? So let's look at this again. So they've drawn 3 patterns for us. So that's the 3rd. This is going to be your 4th. And this here is going to be the 5th time that the pattern is going to repeat. They want to know the position at which the pattern repeats itself, right? So the position they're talking about here, if you watch carefully, that's position 17, right? That's when the pattern repeats itself again. So the answer is going to be your 17th element, right? So there's no fancy kind of work in here, right? You just have to deduce this based on the pattern itself, right? So that's 39. Question 40 here, we have temperatures Sunday to Saturday, right? We have daily min and daily maximum temperatures, and everything is given in degrees Celsius, right? Now, what do they want here? What is the difference between the minimum and maximum temperature on the hottest day? All right, so the first thing we need to do, right, you need to figure out what is your hottest day. When you look at the diagram, you're going to realize that this here is your hottest day, right? That's a Wednesday. And we want to figure out what's the difference between those two. Now you need to understand your scale as well, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8. So every small line here, right? Every small line that we see here represents 2 degrees Celsius, right? So when you look at the hottest temperature on the Wednesday, it is going to be 34, right? And you're going to minus the lowest temperature on that day, which is going to be 22, 24, 26, that's 27. So basically it's 34 minus 27. So borrow 1 from this becomes 2, this is 14. 14 minus 7 will give me 7. So therefore the answer for this part here is going to be 7 degrees Celsius, right? That's the difference in temperature between the hottest day, right? Hottest day maximum and the minimum. On which days is the difference between the minimum and maximum the same? So what you have to do now, you're going to have to look at the days, right, and see which one will give me the same. Now, you already know that every small line represents 2 degrees Celsius, right? So you're going to start and you're looking for 2 days that have the same, right? So let's have a look here. It's 2.5. One and a half. Right, so here's what I'm going to do, right? Instead of me actually calculating, what I'm going to do is look at the spacing. So for the Sunday, right, in terms of spacing, you have 2, you have a spacing of 3 between your lowest and your highest temperature. So you can look at it in terms of spacing, right? On the Monday, you have 1.5 or 1.5. On the Tuesday, we have 2, right? So all I'm looking at is the spacing because we're looking for 2 days that have the same difference. On the Wednesday, you have 1, 2, 3.5. So this is 3.5. On the Thursday, we have 1, 2, this is 3. Yeah, looking like 3 to me. And then on Friday, we have 2.5. So this is 2.5. And then on Saturday, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So if I look at the spacing, then you're going to realize, well, here it is. We notice that on the Sunday and the Thursday, we have the same spacing, right? So the Sunday and the Thursday are those 2 days where the difference is the same. So Sunday and Thursday. Sunday and Tuesday, right? And the last part now, which day is the difference between the minimum and maximum, the largest? So all we're doing here, we're looking for, look at the spacing again, right? And when you look at it, you're going to realize, hey, this one has a spacing of 4, which is equivalent to 4 times 2, that's 8 degrees Celsius, right? So the answer for the last part will be Saturday. Right, that's Saturday. And for that spacing of 4, it'll be 4 multiplied by 2. So that's going to be 8 degrees Celsius. Right? So that takes care of the solutions to the 2022 SEA maths paper. Right? I hope the answers were helpful to you guys. All right.